What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? The market has been absolutely crazy since we last talked. I miss you guys. Hope you miss me. Hey, if you want to win this 1996 American Silver Eagle, make sure you go to the video you see in your top right now. Click on it. There's a keyword that you need to look out for. And if you look at the comments, it's already there. But keyword, you need to comment. You need to make sure you're subscribed. And this Saturday, we will be giving out that 1996 Silver Eagle, as we are already above 100 subscribers. So congratulations, everybody. We made it. We're actually around like 120 right now as I speak. So kind of growing a little bit faster than I predicted. I think this week, since announcing that video, has been our fastest growing week as far as subscribers. Obviously, we have the giveaway. That does help. So whenever the giveaway is done, I hope you guys stay. 3 things that are driving this market that we will get into. But first, I want to announce that I will be changing the format a little bit on these videos to give you guys better quality type videos. I think doing this 3 times a week is going to be a little bit more sufficient. That way I can fully break down things and kind of do more research and have just higher quality videos. You won't have more quantity, but I do believe you'll have more quality. So I'm thinking about doing this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday being like the beginning of the week. This is what we're looking out for. This is where we're at. Wednesday being more of a checkup, seeing how the market's reacting, what news we have coming out, and then Friday being more of that weekly recap of the kind of the week and what we're expecting into the weekend and going over next week. But for me, if you guys should know by now, this is a side hustle for me at the moment. It's not my full-time job. Obviously, one day I would like to just be able to make money off of my laptop, off of YouTube. But at the moment, I do work a full-time job in the car wash business. And with summer coming up, things are heating up on my side over there. So business is very, very busy right now. And so I just have not had the time to sit down and give you quality breakdowns on the market. So instead of doing it inconsistently, I just want to go ahead and change that format up. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays we'll have videos starting next week. We'll start that today, and tomorrow I'll have a video. But I want to go ahead and get that rolling. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and maybe Saturday, Sunday, but no promises. But Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll do more coin hunting videos. And so for those ones, I basically just get a bunch of pennies, quarters, dimes, and I take a day and I make about 20 videos. Each of them are around 20 to 30 minutes long, but I'm going over coins, the rarities of them, which ones to look out for, which ones I'm looking out for, which ones are copper, not copper, valuable, double dies, kind of all of those things. So that's a more in-depth video into like the types of coins and the rarities for the numismatic people and the people who collect copper. Copper right now, copper pennies are on the rise. I still think they're a great investment to start getting into. A lot of people feel like they missed the boat with silver. I still think we have a long way to grow with silver, a long way to go. We had that initial spike. Now I think it's time for that long-term growth to really start accelerating a little bit. So we'll take a little bit more time. But right now I do think copper pennies, not copper rounds or copper bars, I think those are still way overpriced. But if you can collect some copper pennies, especially from the bank, I mean, each one's costing you about a penny, right? And so those right there, I think, are the best investments that we can get. I think when it comes to coin hunting, there are still a lot of people that are searching through the halves, the quarters, the dimes for those silver. And so I think that market is getting a little saturated. But when it comes to the pennies, I don't believe that market's very saturated yet. They're not making them anymore. So besides the 1982 ones and before, because those are all copper, there's some 2009 commemoratives that we're looking out for. And any roll of 2025 pennies, if you find a full roll of them and they're all BU, meaning they're brilliantly uncirculated, so they're beautiful, nice, new pennies, I keep them in a roll, I toss them in the safe, and I forget about them, because those are something in 20, 30 years, I think will really have 50 cents, I really think will be worth about $50. So if you can collect a couple hundred of them right now, a couple hundred of them equates to about $100 worth. Each roll is 50 cents. I think that's a solid 10-year investment. a 10-20 year investment right there. But of course, like anything, only time will tell. But that's just kind of where I'm at with the whole pennies and the coin hunting. But let's kind of get into the video today. Gold spot around today. Let's go ahead and check that out. We're going to go to gold spot. Hovering around 47, mid 47s, up to the $4,800 mark. Silver around $75 right here. As we're heading over to this pattern we were kind of checking out, we do see silver kind of breaking the $75 mark, testing it, getting rejected. We tested it right here. Got rejected, has some consolidation over here, hit a quick little double bottom before kind of coming back up. Now this was when the ceasefire was announced right here. This is that big green candle, but sometimes it does take a huge market shifter to initiate that fire that we need every now and then. But as you can see, we did come back down, because anything that goes up fast must come down. But we rebounded off of that ascending triangle that we have here, testing it again, yet again failing. So when market opens by tomorrow morning, we're going to see kind of where we're at within this. We're at the very tip right here, and then tomorrow around, or I guess Monday morning, we'll really see kind of where this is going to play out at. But I mean, if you ask me, I think this is a bullish signal, even though we have tested it 3 times. If we can break through again, I don't see why we couldn't go to 78, potentially 80 by the end of the week. I know that's a stretch. It's a long shot right there, but I do potentially see 80. Now, will we sustain 80? I don't believe so, but if we can break above 75, I see no reason why we wouldn't go to 80. Just kind of basing it off these past couple moves that we've had. After breaking these barriers, we do kind of see a higher upside push. And so end of the week, if the bulls are out, kind of seeing what the S&P has been doing. S&P has been rocketing. We had this humongous gap up. This is when the ceasefire was announced. I mean, this is an absolute rocket up right here. So we could see some big movement coming up on the upside for the silver market. Gold is showing still commands safe haven demand even after this recent volatility. If it can hold around this area, as we were kind of going over here, that $4,700 mark, I do believe, going into the CPI, it's a sign buyers are still stepping in, and it's stepping in on uncertainty rather than chasing momentum. Reuters said that silver gained about 2.9% today. Over here I have at 1.67. 67, got him. A bigger percentage move than gold. That matches silver's usual behavior when markets start leaning toward inflation is bad, but not bad enough to crush everything. Silver tends to exaggerate both upside and downside compared to gold, so guys, keep that in mind. Today's rally matters, but tomorrow's CPI matters more. If inflation comes in hotter than expected, the market may rethink how soon the Fed can ease it. February PCE rose 0.4% month over month, while headline PCE was up 2.8% year over year, and core PCE was up 3% year over year. That is not soft enough to make the Fed comfortable, especially with oil volatility layered on top. The next CPI is due Friday, April 10th at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, and some market commentary cited today's coverage expect a noticeable jump from February's 2.4 annual CPI reading, largely because of energy. The oil market has been absolutely insane. Crude oil had a huge drop. Let's see if we can pop in the home center real quick. We're just going to look up crude. Taking a minute to load. Oil had a huge drop down from that 117 mark all the way down to $90 within 12 hours, and we have kind of bounced back a little bit into that $100 mark. But whenever the peace talks were announced and the ceasefire was announced, oil obviously dropped huge, and the S&P actually rose dramatically. So, anytime, it does seem like these markets right now, depending on the upside, downside, for large in part, maybe not some of these smaller cap stocks, but all the big cap stocks, it does look like the momentum that's pushing the markets up and down is going to be this war, whether we like it or not. It just kind of seems like that's kind of what happened. Now, gold's gain to a weaker US dollar. When the dollar softens, metals become more attractive globally because they are a dollar price. The dollar gave gold and silver breathing room today. If the dollar turns back up after CPI, metals could lose momentum fast. Yields are not collapsing, which caps euphoria. Even with some safe haven flows and mixed auction demand, the 10-year Treasury yield was still around 4.29 to 4.3% in today's coverage. That is important because non-yielding assets like gold generally do better when real yields are easing, not when they are stubbornly elevated. But why does this matter? Gold's resilience, despite firm yields, is bullish. But for a bigger upside extension, metals probably want either softer inflation data, weaker growth data, or both. Silver still has a strong bigger picture backdrop. Okay, Silver Institute said 2026 silver demand is expected to stay steady, with physical investment demand up 20% to 227 million ounces, and the market is projected to post a 6th straight annual deficit. Even though some industrial demand categories are softening and solar manufacturers continue drifting away from silver where possible, short term, silver trades like a macro asset. Long term, you still have a structural supply-demand story underneath it. So these are the things that I'm looking for going into the end of the week. Right now, like I said, silver looks like it's on a bullish path to the upside. Oil looks like it's on a downward path to the downside. The S&P has a huge gap, so that CPI data, I want to see what happens. There could be a lot of volatility going into the end of the week. This could be one of the crazier end of the weeks that we've seen in a while. We have a lot of patterns forming, and we have a lot of volatility. So drop a comment. Do you think silver is going to go above 80 or hit that $80 mark by the end of the week? And do you think the S&P will retract its gains or continue gaining at the end of the week, towards the end of the week? Let me know in the comments, guys. As always, make sure you stack smart, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.